Hello everyone, and the Steam sale is upon us. The Steam sale is coming 23rd of June, which should be available by the time this video comes out. So this is my top 5 games that I recommend to buy in the Steam summer sale of 2016. I thought I'd get the year in there because they'll probably do this next year. And starting with number 5, I have Max Payne 3, which is the gameplay footage, incidentally, that you are looking at. In fact, scrub that. Buy the entire Max Payne trilogy. It usually goes on sale. It's been on every Steam sale I can remember. But Max Payne 3, Max Payne trilogy, just get all 3. In fact, screw getting Max Payne. Get the 3 of them. Max Payne is one of my favorite game series. It really is. Max is an awesome character. It is a fantastic third-person shooter. If you're a fan of John Woo movies, if you're a fan of The Matrix, the first one was kind of like a John Woo movie. It had bullet time in it as well, which again, The Matrix came out in what, 99? Max Payne 1 came out in 2001, so it featured bullet time, which was awesome. Slowing time, doing your shoot dodges, and now, Max Payne 3 did make a lot of changes. A lot of people didn't like the third game because it kind of became a cover shooter. But I will say this, if you're a fan of the shooting in Red Dead Redemption or Grand Theft Auto 5, then I would play Max Payne 3. It's very, very similar. Of course, it is published by Rockstar, of course, who, published GTA as well. So there are quite a few similarities in the gameplay of GTA and Max Payne. Certainly the death animation in GTA 5 is lifted straight from Max Payne. You do, when you kill the last enemy, you get like the death animation in bullet time and you could spray them with bullets. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little game. Very solid third-person shooter, actually. The other two do age well. They're pretty decent, actually. Max Payne 1 starting to maybe show its age a little bit. The the faces and the character models are a bit dated, but still a really good game. I'd love to see an HD remake of Max Payne. Max Payne 2, of course, was the game that, the first game I played that had ragdoll physics in it, and having fun with the ragdoll physics in Max Payne 2 was pretty good. It wasn't as good as the original. It was a bit shorter, in my opinion, but still worth picking up. And of course Max Payne 3, but you can usually pick these up fairly cheap. They're around, I think, for about maybe sort of under $10 at least, or under say £7 in the UK. You should be able to pick up the entire trilogy. I would recommend picking it up. It's a pretty damn good game. Right, moving on to number 4, we have Firewatch. Firewatch, a game I played earlier this year. It was released earlier this year. It is a little bit short, on the short side. That's why I recommend picking it up in a sale. But it is still a pretty good game. It is a walking simulator. There's no combat or anything like that. It is a character-driven exploration type walking simulator game. It's got a really nice art style. The graphical style is excellent. The story is very good, and the characters are pretty good. I quite like Henry. His relation, you explore his sort of past relationship before you arrive, and then you find that when your colleague in the other watchtower, Delilah, her name is, you get to explore the relationships between them. And it's quite interesting. It's quite very different from Max Payne. You know, Max Payne is a very good story as well, but I like this is something different. You should pick it up in the Steam sale. It is a little bit short, so if you can get this for around, about £10-12 maybe, maybe $15-20, something like that in the US, might be worth picking up. At number 3, we have the Quake quadrilogy. I don't know, the 4 Quake games basically. Now the reason I include this in it is this is 4 games. We already did 3 for Max Payne and 4 for Quake. Quake Champions recently announced, so you can check out Quake. If you don't own all of the Quake games currently, Steam version's not the best. Maybe get them from GOG or something like that. I know their summer sale just finished. But you don't get the soundtrack, basically, for Quake. Quake 1, Quake 2, I think you don't get the soundtrack in. So if you really like the soundtrack, you maybe get it from GOG or something like that. But still worth picking up. Quake 4, not the best. My personal favourite is Quake 2. But it's certainly worth picking up. They usually go for pretty cheap. Usually all of the id games. If it's bundled in with an id software bundle, you know, pick up Doom as well as that. Maybe pick up the Doom trilogy as well as the Quake quadrilogy. But it's certainly worth getting. Quake 2 is my personal favourite. You can see, you know, where the modern arena shooter came from. And, you know, games like, they're getting popular again. Games like Overwatch, kind of loosely based on Quake. It's not quite the same. And hell, even Quake is getting a sort of Overwatch type game in Quake Champions. So it's nice to go back and have a look at these old school shooters. If you haven't checked out any of the Quake games, go check it out. You can still find multiplayer matches. Quake 1, 2, and 3. There's still multiplayer servers out there. You have to do a bit of digging. Do a little bit of a search. I think PC Gamer recently had a original Quake server running. So the Steam version does support mods as well. So you can get mods. You can get like 1080p resolution and whatnot out of it. You can get a bunch of mods. You can find a bunch of servers out there. There are still people, still active communities in all of them. I think pretty much all of them. Quake 1, 2, and 3. I don't know about Quake 4 because that one wasn't great, to be honest with you, but it's still a very good. Quake 1 and 2, the single player campaigns are awesome. Quake 3 doesn't have a single player campaign, it's multiplayer only, although you can play offline against bots, which isn't the best idea, but you know, if you really want to go in and see the old school Quake games, I think this is a good time to check them out with Quake Champions coming soon. It's a very different type of Quake, but it is still, you know, it's still got that Quake lineage at least, and you can find out where it came from if you're interested in Quake Champions. At number 3, we have Warhammer, The End Times Vermintide, which is a very long title. Now, if you're a fan of Left 4 Dead and wanted to cosplay as an elf or a dwarf, then this may be the game for you. It's basically Left 4 Dead set in the Warhammer, the Warhammer fantasy universe. It's a pretty cool game. It is a first-person shooter. You get to play. The difference between Left 4 Dead is you can play as different classes. You've got like a elven type archer sniper thing. You've got like she dual wields daggers as well. You can play as like a mage as well. You can play as a sword and board tank as well. So there are slightly differences, and you're fighting rats instead of zombies, but it's definitely worth checking out, worth picking up at a low price. Again, there's still a fairly active community out there as well. So I would check that out if I were you. You know, if you're a fan of shooters, you know, multiplayer shooters, have a go at Warhammer. It's surprisingly good. It does have a loot system as well in it. I would highly recommend it. And at number 1, we have The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Legendary Edition, or the DLC, or the Skyrim DLC. Now I know what you're thinking. It's strange to include Skyrim, a game that's in every Steam sale, a game that everybody owns. However, if you don't own all of the DLC or the Legendary Edition, if you own them, you will get a free upgrade to the Skyrim HD remake that is coming later this year. So if you want to take advantage of that upgrade, I would use the Steam sale as an opportunity to pick up either the DLC or the Legendary Edition. So you have to own Skyrim plus all the DLC to get it, Bethesda have said, or Skyrim Legendary Edition. And Skyrim Legendary Edition does include the DLC. So if you own Skyrim and some of the DLC, I would finish the DLC collection. I own Skyrim and none of the DLC, so I'll either be picking up the DLC or the Legendary Edition. So whichever is cheaper for me, I'm gonna pick up, because I definitely want that HD remake. And if you don't own Skyrim, it's a fantastic game. Of course, the PC version, I played the Xbox 360 version, mostly, but that's why I don't have that many hours on the PC version. If you check my Steam profile, you'll see I don't really have that many hours. But the PC version is the superior version. You get the higher resolution, of course, higher frame rate. You also get access to mods, of course. There are some amazing mods. You can have lightsabers. You can fight the Macho Man Randy Savage as a dragon. You can have Thomas the Tank Engine as a dragon. There's so many mods, so many graphical mods out there as well. If you can't wait for the HD remake, you can get that. And of course, the HD remake will have access to mods as well, so getting that on PC is a good idea, but just taking advantage of the Steam sale right now. Skyrim has been in every Steam sale since it came out in 2011. I think it's been in every single Steam sale, so it probably will go on offer. Probably they'll be, hopefully they're not bastards and they don't just jack the price up, because there's going to be high demand for Skyrim Legendary Edition, because again, it's free access to the HD remake. If you're on consoles, you're gonna have to buy the game again, but on PC, we're getting the full HD remake if we own the DLC or if we own the Legendary Edition. It is a bit of a caveat there, so just remember that. But anyway, I'll look forward to the top 5 games. I think we'll do the top 5 games that I'm gonna buy personally in the Steam sale, because I own all of these games with the exception of Skyrim Legendary Edition, so I'm going to pick that up definitely. I'll do that later on. So anyway, let me know in the comments what games you're going to buy, and your poor wallet. I just bought my new PC parts. I'm still waiting for the CPU to come, but you know, I'm going for the i5 6600K if you want to know. So yeah, I'm going to be broke at the end of the Steam sale. So anyway, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon, and goodbye.